To our distinguished partner agencies and to our friends from media, good morning once again. This press conference serves as an opportunity to communicate relevant updates and foster transparency regarding the findings and developments surrounding the Philippines and GS Steel Corporation case. At this point, we respectfully invite our Secretary of the National Defense, Honorable Gilberto Teodoro Jr. for his opening statement. Sir.
Magandang hapon sa ating lahat po dito sa 45th Division. Nandito po ako para samahan ang Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission sa ilalim po ni Undersecretary Benjamin Acorda at kasama ng kanyang team, ang DNR, ang PNRI, ang Bureau of Customs, nandyan din po. Maglalahat po sila sa findings dito sa Sandia Compound. Para liwanagin po natin na lahat po ng lalabas dito ay factual findings and initial important actions and yung madi-disclose natin na way forward. So without further ado, ibibigay ko po yung floor kay Yusek Acorda. Thank you po sa kanilang lahat.
Okay, good day everyone. Good day to our friends from the media, our partners, partner agencies, and the Filipino people. Following the enforcement operation against Philippines and GS Steel Corporation, the government conducted a joint ocular inspection to validate findings, assess possible risks, and support the continuing case build-up. Today, we will present the key updates from that inspection and explain the direction of government to protect the public safety, uphold environmental laws, defend Filipino workers, and ensure accountability where violations are proven. This matter is being handled carefully, legally, and based on evidence and factual findings po. The government will continue to pursue the facts, respect due process, and act where the law requires action. The joint ocular inspection was conducted to strengthen the investigation and violations inside Sandia facility. The inspection focused on several important concerns: environmental compliance, mineral resource management, pollution control, radiological safety, worker protection, and public safety. This was necessary because the issues discovered were serious. The goal of the government is to gather the facts, document the risk, and determine the proper legal and regulatory actions. I-emphasize ko lang po na talagang galing din po ako ng Region 10, matasan po ang trust rating natin noon and minemaintain natin yan. Nalulungkot lang ako na maraming naninira sa operations. Ang masasabi ko lang, hindi po tayo nagbago kung ano po yung tiwala na binibigyan niyo sa akin, ayaw ko masira. We are here, we conducted these operations para sa mga mamayan ng Region 10. The inspection was led by DNR with technical support from PNRI, PAOK, and operational support from the AFP. Each agency brought its own expertise. DNR focused on environmental and mineral compliance. PNRI handled radiological safety. PAOK supported the case build-up and law enforcement coordination. The AFP helped secure the area. The team was divided into 4 inspection areas: air quality, water treatment, hazardous waste, and mineral resources. For the radiological safety remained a major concern during the inspection. PNRI conducted a safety briefing, issued protective equipment, and provided radiation pagers to inspection personnel. The safety and dignity of Filipino workers remains central to this case. The operation and inspection raised concerns about dust accumulation, possible hazardous material handling, and the adequacy of protective equipment workers. In any workplace, safety should never be optional. Workers must be protected, especially in facilities where hazardous materials or industrial waste may be present. The government is also reviewing waste management practices to determine whether materials were properly handled and disposed of. No Filipino workers should be placed in danger because of weak compliance, poor safety practice, or the desire for profit. One of the most disturbing issues of this case is the reported exposure of Filipino workers to unsafe conditions. The risks inside the facility were serious enough for responders to use protective equipment and protocols. Yet, Filipino workers were reportedly seen working without adequate protection, while foreign workers appeared very equipped. Ibig sabihin po, alam po ng management na may problema sa risk ng radiation at sa mga ibang materials na nandyan. They were equipped, pero yung mga kababayan natin, makita naman, yan ang nakita natin during operation. This is why enforcement matters. It protects ordinary workers whose safety may otherwise be ignored. Radiation exposures can affect the body. Isimplify ko na lang po, may pangmatagalan na epekto kasi pag sinabi natin kasing nuclear or radiation, ang inisipan nila bomba or immediate kagad. May ibang klase rin na yung pangmatagalan ng chronic. Hindi po to bomba, but because of prolonged exposure, lalo na yung tinatawag na ingestion, inhalation, or kung may sugat ka, eh medyo yun ang mga delikadong parte na pinag-uusapan natin. This operation is beyond geopolitics. It is not about nationality or politics. It is about the sovereign right of the Philippines to enforce Philippine law and Philippine soil. When there are possible violations involving public safety, labor conditions, environmental protections, immigration rules, and public order, the government has the duty to act. Sovereignty means our laws must be protected. It means Filipino workers must be protected. It means public safety must come before private interest. The Philippines welcomes lawful investment. Sino ba mga ayaw ng investment? Pero sana naman isipin natin, gusto natin maraming trabaho, pero yung tama lang at hindi tayo tinatapunan o sinasabotahe ang ating environment. Dagdagan ko lang po, paano po kung naanod po yung mga radioactive materials sa dagat, sa ilog, at kainin ng mga tahog natin, mga isda natin. And ingestion is one of the most concerning issue here. The rule of law protects ordinary Filipinos. It protects workers from unsafe conditions. It protects communities from environmental and health risks. It protects consumers who expect safe products. It protects honest business that follow the law. I will just shorten my presentation. Masasabi ko lang po that this operation is based on facts. Hindi tayo nag-invento ng mga kung ano mga depensa. I was hurt when there were some media blogs or media practitioners insinuating may mga nabayaran and everything. Sana naman po, maawa tayo sa mga nagsasakripisyo na nagtatrabaho ng halos ilang linggo na hindi sila umuwi. Wag naman natin silang akusahan. If ever there are setbacks in this case, kaming unang masasaktan. Kaming nagpakapagod, yung mga tao na nagpakapagod. Halos ina-expose din nila ang sarili na habang nag-i-inspection sa planta na yan. Sana naman, huwag nating siraan kung wala tayong pagpasehan. If ever there's a bad setbacks in this case, maybe there are some big reasons. And I had felt it. They came to my office, somehow threatened our sovereign rights in the execution of our laws. Yun lang po, and magandang hapon.
Thank you, Undersecretary Acorda. For the summary presentation, may we respectfully request Assistant Secretary Nolito Eran from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat, kay Secretary Chidoro, at kay Jessica Corda, at kay Director. Kahapon po, June 2, 2026, ang ating pong Environmental Management Bureau Director, Attorney Michael Drake Matsas, ay naglabas po ng isang order of cancellation ng ECC in favor of Philippine Sanja Steel Corporation. So ito pong pagkansela ng kanilang ECC ay dahil na po dun sa ating confirmation from the PNRI na merong presence of radioactive materials dito sa loob ng compound ng Philippine Sanja Steel Corporation. So aside from this major reason for the cancellation, mayroon pa po tayong nakitang mga paglabag sa mga environmental laws. Ang DENR po ay nagpapatupad ng maraming environmental laws. Foremost is the Republic Act 6969 or yung Nuclear Wastes and Hazardous Waste and Substances. So ito po ay pinapatupad ng DENR na may technical na assistance from the PNRI. Yung ating mga toxic and hazardous waste substances, kapag may walang mga kaukulang permit from the DENR at in-import po dito sa Pilipinas, ay ito po ay violation. At meron pong administrative, civil, and criminal sanction para dun sa mga lumalabag sa batas na ito. So aside from RA 6969, meron din po kami nakitang paglabag sa Philippine Clean Water Act of the Philippines and the Philippine Clean Air Act of the Philippines. Okay, meron din po tayong nakitang paglabag doon sa Presidential Decree 1586 o yung tinatawag natin na Philippine Environmental Impact System, okay, of the Philippines. So ito po ay ang ating naging recommendation. As I mentioned earlier, na-cancel na po natin ang Environmental Compliance Certificate ng Sanja Steel Corporation. At aside from the cancellation, nag-issue na din po tayo ng cease and desist order doon sa operation ng Philippine Sanja Steel Corporation, and pinagbayad po natin sila ng 450,000 pesos bilang fines and penalties.
You have to be clear that these are merely administrative penalties, not accounting the damages that they've done.
Yeah, so ito pong fine na 450,000 pesos, ito po ay dahil sa regulasyon natin. Administrative in nature po ito. Hindi pa ito kasama kung mapapatunayan na may mga environmental damage and degradation sa mga immediate vicinity ng warehouse at compound ng Philippine Sanja Steel Corporation.
PNRI, which one?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Teresa Salabit from the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. I'm the overall team lead of the Mobile Expert Support Team. I would just like to give a few statements regarding our operations here. Nuclear and other radioactive materials provided significant benefits in health and industry, and also in agriculture. However, when these materials are not properly controlled, they may pose serious risk to the public health and the environment. The PNRI's participation in the operations is to provide technical support through the detections for presence of radioactivity and subsequently assess for the radiation hazards present, the potential exposures to the workers and the public, and the recommending protective actions as needed. The PNRI and the PhilAtom will also determine the radioactive hazards present. We already confirmed and identified the radioactive materials that is in the process, in the raw materials, in the byproducts, in the process itself of this steelmaking facility, and also the wastewater treatment. We have detection of presence of radioactive material in which they should not be present. So under the authorized RA 12305, and such use of this should be consistent to the national interest as well as the security concern of the country. So there will be, for the PNRI and the PhilAttom, there will be a new regulations and an order that would be developed to make sure that this would be all the smelting, steel making companies, recycling that will be regulated by the PhilAttom. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. At this juncture, it is now free to open the floor for our question and answer portion.
Before that, sa ganang
Yes, sir.
ito yung FIBIDEC na supervised agency ng DND. So, they will be subjected to investigation as to how these things have happened. The whole area shall be subjected sa security and background scanning ng lahat ng pwedeng na nangyari-ari dito na hindi lumilitaw. Ito, na ganitong kalaking operation, ay hindi pwede lumusot kung walang kapabayaan o kaalaman ang manager ng kahit sinong industrial estate. Ikaw, let's say, ang taong simple na nagpapa-arendar ng bahay, nagpapa-renta ka ng bahay, ikaw landlord, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na ang tenant ang bahala na mag-comply sa environmental regulations or city or municipal ordinances. Ikaw may-ari ng bahay. At the end of the day, ikaw ang may responsibilidad dahil ikaw ang may-ari ng bahay. So, ganon ang background na gagawin namin. In the meantime, ang importante na tigil ang illegal, madumi na operation ng Sandja. Na, kaduda-duda, tandaan pa natin, may malaki silang pier na hindi natin alam kung anong maaari na nangyayari pa sa loob ng planta o ipinasok dito. Kaya ito ay iimbestigahan ng mabuting-mabuti ng tao. Secondly, kaya naman na maganda na tatigil at nararapat lang na tigil yung operation para sa ganon mahalughog pa ng ating team kung ano ang laman nun, kung ano ang perwisyo or damage na nangyari na at pwede pang mangyari para maumpisahan ang targeted remedial measures sa clean-up ng site at sa potential damage unang-una sa surrounding communities. At nakita mo na yung trabahador kanina, hindi talaga protektado. Lahat yan, ipinagbili na namin sa OCD na i-coordinate yung targeted response sa lahat na nagtrabaho dito. Unang-una, health, inspeksyonin at check-in sila. Pangalawa, bigyan sila ng assistance. Pangatlo, re-employment. Under the different departments coordinated na ng OCD. But let us remember, to this day, Sandja remains an open crime city. And the investigation is still ongoing to unearth all the principals and perpetrators of this act and their cohorts of whatever nature and accomplices in wherever. Kasi ito ay magsisilbing tanda at halimbawa na hindi tayo pwedeng magpahintulot ng ganitong klaseng talamak na violation of our national security, whether by kung sino man. This is a violation of national security kasi unregulated na nangyayari at mabuti na lang, ito din ay namunga ng masagana at maayos na partnership between the DNR, the PAOK, and the PNRI Para sa ganun, matulungan din natin ang DNR na i-enforce yung kanilang mandate. Actually, ang DNR, in fairness, sa lahat ng agencies, isa sa pinakamaliit ang budget, pinakamalaki ang hawak. Ang forestry, lupa, and biodiversity, and foreshore, tubig, hawak nila yan. Isa sa pinakamaliit na budget. Can you imagine, dun lang sa forest land, wala silang budget for honest to goodness na forest rangers. Kaya nakikipagtulungan kami sa AFP na maging deputized nila na matulungan din. No? Kasi ang AFP, it's in the interest of the armed forces na magkaroon din ng forest cover for whatever purpose. For defensive purposes and also for disaster risk reduction dahil unang-una nagre-responde ang armed forces pagka may nabaha, may na-mudslide, etc. So, eto, nagpapasalamat ako kay ASEC dito na somehow magkakaroon ng model ngayon for enforcement. At nagbigay din tayo ng suggestion sa kanila for future, i-combine mo yung ease of doing business para mapabilis ang permitting, pero capacitating each other na kahit na pinabibilis mo ang ease of doing business, it will not sacrifice regulatory requirements, particularly in hazardous substances and pollutants such as this, and national security. Yan ang importante sa akin. So, ulitin ko, ang PBDEC ay sisiyasatin namin ng gusto. Ang kanilang pagkukulang or kapabayaan kung meron man. At ito ay importante dahil tandaan natin, Philippine veterans. Para sa veterano ito, hindi para kung kani-kanino lang mag-abuso. No? So, yun lamang. At we'll open the floor to questions.
Thank you, sir. To our friends from the media, kindly state your name and media organization where you actually working with. And also, we will allow our friends from the media to have one question and one follow-up. It will be also truly appreciated to allow our speakers to finish their responses. Now may we have our first question.
Sir, Brian Gallardo po sa News. Sir, I was, anong technology ginamit nila for the smelting? Is it old or new technology? Because in 1999, Sanjaya applied for the Board of Investments tax breaks, and the agency turned it down because it's using an old Soviet technology. Can you confirm it?
Right now, that is part of the investigation on the process. Because 30 hectares yung lugar, that is a valid point that is being subjected to investigation right now. The trade violations. There's another set of violations regarding the incentives, the process, and the output.
Yeah.
And that needs technical investigation. So immediately, the important thing for us is to close the plan to address potential damage to people and the community and to allow us further investigation. Because right now, there are patent violations already, which are undeniable. And we are also going, the team here is also going through a document backtracking to look for further leads. So that is a valid question, and I encourage the PAO to be ready to report that to the public as soon as possible regarding the compliance with the BOI incentives, while there may be reports that they may not have even incurred costs on the technology because there are reports that it was donated for free precisely because it is obsolete. So we'll find out.
Sir, follow-up question, sir. Sanjaya was set up in 2019. It's beyond the present PPTEC administration. In fact, it was before the administration of former President Duterte. May investigation ba? Kasi
Yes.
I look into
There will be
I
a
look
total
into the-
past and current. Because assuming it was established before, doesn't give reason for it to continue now if people were doing their jobs. Given the fact that it's doing what it did. It did what it did, rather.
I look kasi into the papers and parang sweetheart deal eh. People like approve the law when hindi pa incorporated yung Sanjaya, parang okay ba yung
Well, I have here Assistant Secretary Lawrence T. Please take this into account. And I am directing him to place a special legal team from our DND together with our partner agencies to conduct a thorough audit and review of the legal aspects, not only of this case. There may be a pattern
yung nag-matter na yun.
within here.
Lastly, sir,
Yeah.
last na.
Of course, go ahead.
This is not the first time the PAOK or any government raided the Sanjaya. Meron inspections before, but there was no results. Results were never made public. Yung cases na suspicion of drugs, rice smuggling, but there was no report. We were asking for that report. None was taken.
Well, I've heard of those rumors also, and that is why we are conducting an investigation to get to the bottom of what has happened here. Let's remember there's a big court here, and because of the inability of the government to regulate effectively such a big operation, it also serves as food for thought for us that we really have to help each other and be more agile in preventing these things. These are valid observations, but still need to be substantiated.
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Yeah, if I may add, on the part of PAOK, kung ano man ang mga reports na hinahanap nyo noon, kung hindi man naibigay, but for this particular operation, we will be giving it, we will be making it to the public, available to the public. But taking into consideration that right now that we are still in the process of meeting the court judges and the prosecutors, so yung iba po medyo ikot po muna for risk of to further strengthen our case. Thank you.
Let me also revert to the fact na ito ay inisyuhan ng search warrant ng isang juez na searching questions and answers at saka thorough examination ang ginawa sa mga operatives ng PAOK. So, may basihan ng pagpasok and these findings validate the basis for the issuance of the search warrant. More than validate and more than proven.
Thank you, sir. May we now have our second question?
Sir, good afternoon. Maybe the Secretary or you can answer. Nasaan po yung 69 Chinese nationals that were apprehended? Kasi yung Chinese embassy raised concerns na po over the recent arrest of Chinese nationals, hindi lang doon sa Sanjaya, pati doon sa isa pang operation sa Davao.
Sa akin lang yung sa saganang akin, sinagot niya ng DFA na it is not targeting Chinese but targeting illegal behavior. Natataod lang na ang natutumbok natin na malalaki, na large scale, hanggang illegal mining, hanggang kung ano-ano, ay nationals ng People's Republic of China.
sa 69 po na Chinese nationals, nasan po sila ngayon? Under what custody po sila?
Well, previously they were under the custody of NBI and pinakuha namin sa BI. But for the official status talaga, I have yet to wait. May sinabi sa akin, telephone call lang. I don't want to be using mga inappropriate terms na hindi wala kong pasyan. So I have to wait. I have yet to see the official report kung ano yung status nila for me to say kung anong actual status. Gaya ng sinabi ng ating butihing secretary, there is no discrimination here. So ang masasabi ko lang, all the participating agencies in this operation have prepared an airtight case. Yun lang po masasabi ko.
Second question.
Iulit ko lang karagdagan doon. Sinasabi nila na dito sa Sanjia, nagkaroon ng discrimination sa aresto. Nakita naman natin ang kondisyon ng mga Pilipino na nandito nung ito ay sinerba ng search warrant. Walang proteksyon. At meron ng noxious substances na present doon at bakit naka-PPE yung mga Chinese nationals. So, eto, bakit mo arestuhin ang mga biktima na Pilipino?
Sir, second question po. For you po, Secretary. I don't know if may idea na kayo or may confirmation. May isa kasing news item citing a source na bad nga raw po kayo sa China and pinapacheck kung may assets kayo or properties para nga raw po it is in connection or in relation dito po sa naging operation sa Sanjia. May info na po ba kayo dyan or reaction din po yung
Well, ito'y haka-haka. So, hindi ko muna pararangalan yan. Kasama yan pagka ganito. Kung ang impression ng China, bad ako sa kanila, dahil bad din ang ginagawa nila dito. Kung maganda naman ang ginagawa nila dito, di pa pupilihan natin sila.
Thank you, sir. Let's have our next question.
Good afternoon to the panelists. I am Enzi Montes, the News Director of IFM, and DXCC Aramin Cagayan de Oro. Tosek Gibo, sir, your reaction po kasi sinabi ng pinaka-head lawyer sa Philippine Sanjia Steel Corporation na nakalabas na yung 70 persons, 69 Chinese at saka isang Pinay. Tapos sinabi niya, kahapon, latest update, dinideny ng Clerk of Court dito sa Cagayan de Oro yung motion nila to quash the search warrant. Hinihintay daw po nila ngayon ang result sa ginagawa nilang petition for injunction to resume business and remove the army in the area of Philippine Sanjia, sir.
I think that petition will be rendered moot and academic with the issuance by the DNR of the cease and desist order and the cancellation of the ECC.
Last po, na follow-up. Kumusta na po yung mga empleyado ng Sanjaya? Kasi last po, nag-rally sila, prayer rally, kasi hindi pa daw sila nakapag-salary, kasi hindi pinapasok. Tapos, ano yung mga binibigay? Kasi late, nung last po set na na-interview namin, pinoprofile lang daw po sila ng DSWD, pero tapos pinapatrabaho pa daw ng tupad, pero wala mo nagbibigay. Paano na lang daw yung pagkain nila? Any update po? Thank you.
If I may, Secretary, Geoffrey Suyaw from the Department of Labor and Employment. We are part of the organized coordinating group of the OCP in response to the instructions of our dear Secretary Chudoro to look into the welfare of the displaced workers. So on the part of the Department of Labor and Employment, our immediately implementable program is our tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged and displaced workers. In fact, DOLE together with DOH, DSWD and other agencies were at the Baluarte Covered Court in coordination with the LGU to conduct profiling of the workers. And during that day, 18 of May, we profiled 310 workers. Of the 310 workers, we offered them the immediately implementable TUPAD program, wherein they could work for 15 days and be covered by 500 pesos minimum wage salary per day. So, of the 310, ang actual na nakapagkontrata, service contract sa DOLE, who were actually interested to join the TUPAD program is 279. And of the 279, yung sumipot at actually nagtrabaho nag-start on the 28th of May is 278. So itong 278 ay nag-start na, ang 7th day nila ay kahapon. Today is their 8th day, and today, this afternoon, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, DOLE will be releasing the half of their salary already, which is 3,500. And ang kanilang other half or last payment covering the 8th to 15th day is on June 11. And on June 11, each of them will receive 4,000 pesos each. So in total, ang matatanggap nila under the TUPAD program is 7,500 pesos. Ang kanilang work assignments ay mag-a-assist sila sa pag-prepare ng ating mga public schools. 9 public schools in Tagoloan will be cleaned up and be prepared for the opening of classes. So this is in coordination with the LGU and the Department of Education. Nakipag-coordinate tayo under the Brigada Eskwela program of Department of Education. So ito po yung immediately implementable at nai-implement natin ongoing. On the other aspects of the DOLE program, we have coordinated yesterday with the TESDA. All the 310 profiled workers, kanilang mga profiles ay sinabit natin sa TESDA. Kasi doon sa profiling natin, nakalagay doon kung ano yung mga possible mga skills training na gusto nilang makamit sa ating gobyerno. So the TESDA is now processing at tinitignan kung ano yung i-offer nila doon sa ating mga displaced workers. So ito po yung collaboration ni DOLE at ni TESDA. Binigay po natin sa kanila ang 300 profiles para mabigyan po nila ng skills training. Kung sino ang willing na mag-proceed sa skills training.
Okay.
On the part of the, yes,
No,
Secretary.
sige. Please finish and then
Yes,
I
I
want
will.
to add something.
Yes.
No, go ahead. Take your time.
On the employment facilitation, we have coordinated with the LG to help us disseminate the information that on June 12, there will be a Kalayaan Trabaho Agad Job Fair of the Department of Labor and Employment here at the SM Cagayan de Oro downtown. And on 19, we are coordinating closely with LGU and the Public Employment Service Office of Taguluan because they will be organizing a Trabaho Agad Job Fair also in Taguluan. And this would be open and the 310 workers will be invited to join so that if they're interested to apply already and be employed by other employers within the area or nearby, then of course it would be very good also so that economically ay hindi sila masyadong maapektuhan. So ito po ay yung some of the interventions. Thank you.
May I suggest also may practical na paraan din kung paano rin magpagtulungan sa ating workers. No? Unang-una, responsibilidad ng Sandya na magpabayaan niya mga yan. Meron silang puso. Kung meron silang pera na mag-file ng injunction na kailangan mo magdeposito ng pera sa korte, at kung meron kang pera na pambayad ng abogado sa Maynila at dito, wala kang pera na pambayad sa iyong empleyado na nilakastangan mo? Yan ang tanong. Kaya, eto, maging halimbawa din sa atin na ginagamit talaga ang Pilipino nitong mga to. Dahil uunahin nila yung sarili nila, tapos yung na-expose na mga workers, hindi nila inaalagaan. So itong practical. Kaya natin pinagmamadali ang assessment ng site, rehabilitation, and clean-up. Dahil gusto namin makipagtulungan din sa empleyado dahil alam nila yung nangyayari sa loob, maipapadali nila sa tulong nila sa PAO na eto, meron kaming nakita na ganito dito, so tutumbukin yon, i-analyze. Secondly, i-clean up yan eh. Ayaw natin sa gusto. Pwede natin silang gamitin dun sa clean up mismo ng Sandya. No? Na babayaran yan ng Sandya. Even though they're not. Because etong mga kaso na ito, kaya sinasabi na rin natin sa authorities at sa AMLAC, tignan na yung mga accounts niyan upang masis ng gobyerno ang accounts niyan dahil may violation na number 1 priority sa order of preference of credits is workers' salaries and benefits. Yun ang dapat natin habulin.
Good morning po, Secretary, and to everyone. In response from the SWD with validated and verified locally affected workers of Philippine Sandja Steel Corporation, yesterday, June 2, 2026, we were able to provide cash assistance to 303 locally affected workers amounting to 6,000 each, with a total amount of 1,818,000, and also distributed family food packs amounting to 266,640, with a total cost distributed yesterday 2,084,640. So the rest of the 10 locally affected workers na hindi naka-proceed yesterday will be facilitated through our one-stop shop located in SLP office, Taguluan. So the SWD will also assess the local profile, which is based on our records, 313 affected workers. They will be assessed for possible inclusion in the SLP program.
Thank you. At ito paano? Makikipagtulungan tayo sa dalawang ahensya na yan, sa ating regional director. Mahanapan natin ang paraan kung ano-ano pang bagay matulungan ang mga victimized na to. While waiting for them, actually, they are victimized. They should go after the owners of Sandja for subjecting them and using them to violate environmental rules and regulations, exposure to noxious substances. Makipagtulungan sila sa amin na panagutin ang Sandja at ang danyos hindi lamang sa environment kundi sa tao mismo. Dapat mabayaran sila doon. Yeah, DOH, please.
Good morning po. Dr. Legaspi from the Department of Health. From the reports we've gathered, we have around 313 workers from Sandja, and we made an initial assessment, health assessment sa 113. Because when we sent word na we'll be doing the health risk assessment, at 130 lang po yung sumipot sa one-stop shop na ginawa natin. So, among the findings that we found, we didn't find any acute rejection syndrome symptoms. So, it's a good thing. And tomorrow, sir, we'll be doing the blood works. So, the purpose po ng blood works is to determine the chronic effects of our radiation injuries. So, tomorrow po, gagawin natin yung...
Not only to radiation, doctor, but exposure to noxious substances and fibrosis of the lungs, etc.
Everything.
And para na lang dahil 113 lang ang nagpatingin, ito, iniimbita ko na po ang iba na nagtrabaho dito magpakita po sa DOH. Ang importante dito, yung examination po na gagawin ng DOH sa inyo, subject to medical privacy. Nasa inyo po at ang inyong doktor. No? So, patingin na tayo para kung may diferensya, pwede natin pagtulungan kung paano kayo magagamot. No?
Yes, sir.
Unless na may offense talaga na grabe, ayun na lang ang exception. Pero yung pagpapatingin sa inyo, confidential po yan. May mga exceptions lamang. Kaya kung 113 lang po, pakisabi na rin dun sa mga 113, marami pong salamat sa inyo. At sisiguraduhin namin kung merong diferensya na makita, pagtutulungan ho namin ang pag-address at paggamot dito. No? Hindi lamang sa radiation, fibrosis, skin diseases, o ano man. Kasi madumi talaga eh. Nakita naman natin na puro alikap yung trabador kanina. So, by way of appeal, na sa pakiusap na lang sa iba pang mga workers, paawa na rin kayo sa inyong pamilya kasi baka lumabas yung sakit in the future, mag-problema pa ng inyong mga anak. Tsaka na ano, so agapan na natin. Early detection, and kung limpyo lahat, malinis lahat, wala tayong problema. Okay, trabaho na lang ang problema natin. So, in behalf of DOH, ako po'y nakikiusap sa inyo. Non-attribution po ito. Confidential, doctor-patient privilege yan.
Thank you very much, sir, for the appeal. I was about to say that also. Because we're still looking for the 200 na hindi pa sumipot doon sa health risk assessment natin. So tomorrow, we'll be doing the blood work to really further determine kung may exposure ba talaga or may ill effects pa. So we'll be doing certain routine exams, CBC, urinalysis, chest X-ray will be done, and then liver profile will be done also. Because of the chronic effects, primarily affected sir, will be liver and of course lungs. So tomorrow, fear not because the payment for the lab exams will be shouldered by the Department of Health. And then if ever they'll be admitted, the DOH will take care also kung kailangan sila yan. So sir, we'll wait out for the results, initial health assessment for the 200, and of course the 113 together with their lab blood works will be furnishing you the results for the workers.
Thank you. Any further questions? Will the MC under flow?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, good afternoon, Secretary. Mr. Michael Bustamante po, NFM Mass Media Broadcasting, Radio
Alam mo,
Labating.
may linog, yung lalim ng boses.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, pagkalman mo namin na malakas po ang ebidensya no, laban itong kinasukan. Itong mga Chinese national. Ano po ang reaksyon ninyo? Kunin ko ang reaksyon ninyo po at ayusin sa resolution po ng Department of Justice, I think last week, na nagpuntos na i-release from the detention facility itong mga Chinese nationals at for further investigation. Ano po ang reaction po niyo?
Hindi po kami magbibigay ng personal na reaksyon dahil jurisdiction po nila yan. Pero sa lumalabas po dito, sa mga findings namin, ito na po ang sagot sa further investigation. Sa tingin ko, more than sufficient na ito para masagot yun. So, hayaan ko na po na bakit hindi po sila ang tanungin ninyo. No? So, kung meron man request for further investigation, palagay ko ang nakalap na DNA dito more than sufficient na ma-establish. Hindi Pilipino ay nagbabiolate ng environmental laws and regulations na basis ng search warrant na may criminal penalties.
Secretary Gordon. Next one.
Anyway, how I wish I can answer that question straightly. Pero masasabi ko lang, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, we have a very strong case. For whatever reason, tanong na lang sila. Pero there are some issues siguro na mahirap sagutin. Pero masasabi ko lang bilang Pilipino, sana mag-isip-isip na tayo bakit umabot ng ganun. Hindi ba dapat yun ang dahilan para lalo tayong magkaisa? Maraming salamat.
The following question po. Sir, sa resolution po ng DOJ, hindi lang 69 o mga Chinese national. Ang nakasuhan, marami po sila. More than 100, including yung mga at large. So, sa dati nga, marami, no? Ano ang mga ginagawa nila sa Sandia? Ano mga trabaho nila dyan? Bakit marami mga Chinese national? Napasukan talaga tayo ng maraming Chinese na galing sa mainland China.
Well, alam na natin, kahit na anong ginagawa nila dyan, na establish na natin illegal yung ginagawa. No? Ngayon, etong mga elemento na ito na hindi kasama sa 69, hinahanap ngayon yan. At, will be subjected to further criminal proceedings. Pero, be that as it may, pag may criminal proceedings laban sa kanila, personally, civilly liable sila. Pag civilly liable, magbabayad sila ng danyos, makukumpiska kung ano man ang tinago nila. At dito naman sana mapunta sa trabahador na nilapastangan nila dito sa Sandia ang makukuha.
I think Mr. Tony yan po, kasali po sa kinasuhan. Sinakonfirm na ni RSP Poli. So dito na kanitin si Tony yan sa Lupit. Thank you po.
Thank you. I really don't have the technical details. Ang akin lang kasi, kaya ako nandito, speaking ko national security, number 2, PBDEC ito. And thirdly, OCT concern ang sa community at sa health, no? Tsaka yung trabaho ng mga tao. Also, paano tayo mag-industrialize na tama kung ganitong klase ang investments na nakukuha natin? No? How do we expect na tayo ay mapro-prosper, lalago? Industrially, paano tayo magkakareputasyon na maganda kung ganito ang nangyayari? No, hindi ko naman sinasabi sa buong Pilipinas nangyayari ito. Ang alam lang namin nangyari ito sa Sandia at magsilbing halimbawa ito sa lahat, no, ng may balak na hindi maganda.
Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Let's have another question.
Good morning, panelists. Silent Chavez from GMA News. Sir, tanong ko lang, with all the facts na na-present natin this morning, resulta na rin ng investigation na ginawa natin, ng inspection. Knowing Philippine Sandia Steel Corporation is owned by Tony Yang, brother of Michael Yang, and we know a close ally of the Dutertes, hindi naman natin mawawala no, sa publiko na may mga magsasabing pamumulitika, allegedly, nangyayari na pang-ilipit with the ongoing rivalry of the current administration and the Duterte. So, do we have reactions on this? And then ano po yung clarifications natin today?
Please allow me, ako na lang po sasagot yan. No? As I mentioned earlier, this is a PAOK-initiated operation. The Secretary of National Defense was involved because of PBDEC. Bilang respeto, nagpatulong kami sa kanya so that walang complication and walang sign. Parang, kumbaga sa kakatok ka sa bahay, government agency dyan, government entity yan. So, nagpaalam din kami. So, again, with regards to pamumulitika, wala ko sa vocabulary po ng PAOK yan under my leadership. Purely law enforcement operation po ang pananaw namin dyan. Maraming salamat po.
Segue ko na lang din po, Sec. With the
Lastly, palagay ko sa mga may haka-haka, mabuting sagutin muna ng Sandia ang mga violations na nakita dito na na-uncover. Those are facts. Yung pabumulitika is speculation or motive. Hindi ko kailangan mag-prove ng motive kung establisado na yung nangyaring violation. Ngayon, kung walang violation, maku-question nyo yung motibo. Pero ito maliwanag pa sa noo ko eh.
Okay. Segue ko na lang din po, Sec. Naantala po yung promotion ng 5 generals natin ng AFP with yung ongoing Senate circumstances kaya hindi po sila makurong-kurong. Any reaction being the Secretary of National Defense?
Salamat naman at natanong ninyo. Sana naman convene for business ang Senate. Hindi lang naman. Marami pa ang nakasalang ang mga opisyal. Kung sana ma-confirm na itong mga to. Secondly, ito importante din na depensar na namin sa committee ang 2 SOFA na pending concurrence by the Senate, no? Sa ratification ni Presidente. Those are the status of visiting forces agreement with Canada and New Zealand. So, ito ay nagmamadali na itong tayo at saka ang Canada at New Zealand napakapagtrabaho na together sa maraming bagay. So, apilan na para na lang sa smooth running of the armed forces of the Philippines at para sa engagements natin na tuloy-tuloy at mabilis, sana naman matugunan ng Senado ang mga pangangailangan na ito na hindi dapat pabayaan. Apila lang po.
May effects na ba so far?
Ang
Yung pagkaantala?
well, isang araw lang madali may epekto na. No? Pero hindi naman natin ibinibintang sa Senado yan. Kasi may hanggang June something bago sinidie. So, nakikiusap kami na bago yung panahon na yon, sana ay maagapan na itong action na ito sa Commission on Appointments and sa Senate plenary para ma-ratify na nila or ayaw nila ay i-reject nila yung 2 SOFA. Pero nakikiusap ako, huwag naman po sana natin i-reject at aprubahan po natin kaagad.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, follow up lang Sir Daniel sa Lisa Ridge. Doon sir sa FIPIDEC, binanggit mo na past and present bahagi ng investigation. May mga narinig ba tayo or for recommendation na marinig doon sa FIPIDEC so far?
Tapusin ko na lang yung investigation and it is a question of management structure and control. Hindi lang tao ang hinahanapan natin kung talagang may kasabwat or may kakulangan. Kung hindi, baka mali ang istruktura ng PIPIDEC. Lalong-lalo na kung nakikita natin ang potential na danger sa community na pwedeng mangyari pagka ang management structure nito ay disempowered or hindi aligned sa Department of National Defense, etc. So, importante sa akin yung managerial inputs na kailangan ng consent ng Presidente sa istruktura at pagpapatakbo ng PIPIDEC. And then, of course, based on the structure, kasi kung hindi mo pinalitan yung structure, uulit at uulit eh. So, palitan mo yung struktura at mamili ka ng mabuting tao.
Follow up na lang sir doon sa tanong kanina ni Patrick. Doon sa item na ini-issue kayo in connection to the raid sa Sanja, ang sabi doon sir sa news ay hindi raw kayo pwedeng pumasok na sa China and even yung family mo. And yung assets mo raw sir ay chine-check lang sa China kung pwede lang ma-freeze following yung raid nga rin sa Sanja. Sir, totoo ba yun sir?
Wala akong asset sa China. Alam mo, meron akong ninuno nung araw ay 6-7 generations ago nagpunta dito. Isang ninuno. tama ang desisyon na yan kasi hindi na bumalik dun eh. Kung hindi ako nagganito estado sa buhay. So, wala akong asset sa China at wala akong balak pumunta doon. May balak sana ako kasi gusto ko talagang dumalaw. Sarap ng pagkain, mabait ang tao. Pero natatapunan ito sa klase ng gobyerno na mapaniil na meron sila. Kaya, it's a lost opportunity. Hindi naman sa ayaw mo pumunta. Dahil gusto mo rin eh. Ang laki ng bansa na yun, ang daming kultura, ang daming ano. Pero kung yung asal ng gobyerno mo na wala namang karapatan ng mamamayan mo, eh ganun, huwag na lang. No?
Thank you, sir.
Alright, so good afternoon po. Hello. Hello. Yes. Sec, good afternoon po. Patrick Tablon from Juan de Radyo, Cagayan de Oro. Sec, segue ulit. Sa transition po ng Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, ano po ang complete milestone na nagawa ng AFP na nagawa shifting away from internal security sa outer defense posture po natin?
Let me clarify. Napag-aralan namin na hindi shifting away from ISO to territorial defense, kung hindi, enhancing our dual capabilities to address both territorial defense at saka ISO. Dahil aminin natin na yung ISO, importante pa rin na ang AFP ang gumawa at sa tingin ko ay gagawin ito for some time. Ngayon, may dagdag na mission area which is very important, yung territorial defense. Kaya, unang-una, na pag-aralan natin, kailangan palakihin natin ang armed forces. Gumawa tayo ng strategic basing, re-educate tayo ng ating mga civilian human workforce at saka mga kasundaluhan para sa makabagong anyo ng potential conflict. Kasi ang usapan dito sa territorial defense ay deterrence. Na pag hindi ko masabi sa Pilipino yung deterrence, active defense yun na huwag nang magtangka, no? So, kinakapacitate natin ang armed forces. Ang pinaka-importante dyan yung command and control, domain awareness, at ang ating secure processes, secure communications, iba pang mga bagay na hindi namin mapag-usapan. Pangalawa, alam natin na ang disaster response ay malaking role ng armed forces. So dinadagdagan natin ang ating disaster response capabilities. Na-order na nung araw ang tatlong C-130J na papasok ngayon at nandyan na lahat ng Black Hawk natin. No? So, dadagdagan pa natin to dahil 7,600 islands tayo dito eh. At hindi mo naman matutulay lahat yan. So, dalawang milestone na yun, may mga dumating at dumating nga, kailangan namin gawan ng support para dito. Doon natin hinahabol ngayon. Kasi na-order nung araw, kulang ang facilities na magbahay dito at mag-operate dito. Barko lang, ang dami pang darating, tapos umorder pa tayo ng dalawa magmula sa Korea at inaasahan natin may 5 pa na galing Japan. Eh wala tayong pier. Kaya nga ginagawa natin ang isang base sa Subic at yung dockyard natin dito. Kasi yung sa Cavite, hindi na pwede, mababal na. Tapos sa Army, ang major objective niyan ay force protection at mobility ng ating Army. Nandiyan na rin ang security and lethality ng ating Army. Yung mobility, importante. Kasi para mas mabilis makagalaw ang ating mga kasundaluhan sa Philippine Army. Mag-order tayo ng 570 or more tactical fighting vehicles. Para sa ganon, hindi na naglalakad ang tropa natin, lalo na sa peligroso na lugar. at yung mahirap abutin na lugar ay makuha natin, no? Dahil mobile na eh. It will cut reaction time very, very quickly, pati resupply. Maliban dito, ang importante habang dahil alam natin, hindi natin kaya mag-isa yung defense alliances natin. Ngayon, merong active tayong visiting forces sa 3 bansa at 2 na napirmahan, 3 na napirmahan na, naghihintay na lang ng Senate ratification. Ito. Ngayon, magdadagdag pa yan. Kasi nakikita ng ibang mga bansa yung value ng convergence dito sa Pilipinas. So, yun ang sa ating territorial defense. Sa ISO, tuloy-tuloy din ang putok ng ating mga kasundaluhan. Both sa CPP, NPA, NDF na masigasig ang operations laban sa kanila at binabati ko ang ating Philippine Army principally for doing the job against armed elements. Yan ang major mission area na ating inatas sa Philippine Army para walang issue ng suppression of civilian human rights. Armado ang sinusugpo dito. So, nakikita naman natin ang success rates. Lalo na dito sa 4th Infantry Division ay pabilis ang progreso dito at nagpapasalamat din kami sa kanila dahil sa kumpiyansa kahit ng kalaban sa kanila sumusuko eh. Kaya nga we also integrate at bukas ang gobyerno para sa kanila. So, ito ay dito naman part of strengthening our national backbone and fiber. Kasi itong mga ganitong klaseng operation, yung United Front Works na operation na ganito, nakakapanghihina ng ekonomiya, nakakapanghihina ng society. Dahil kumakalat ang mga tentacles ng panghihina ng society. No? So, there are major milestones under the Marcos administration that are structurally supportable and sustainable. Wala tayong ginagawa, pinapasukan o pinipili na hindi natin kayang suportahan na magagamit ito hindi na magiging pang-display lamang. Alright?
Thank you po, sir.
We will entertain one last question regarding around Sanjia case. If there's any, please. Yes, sir?
Okay, siguro kayo sinakor na po. Na-identify niyo na po ba yung establishments or companies na naging client po ng Sanjia or kung may possible pong government projects po na nagamit po yung kanila po mga products?
Hello, that is the direction of our effort and investigation at Malaking Tulong. And I think your presence will be helpful also para na rin sa bayan. You have your so-called investigative journalism. If you can help us, lalo na yung mga bumabagsak na tulay at baka pagtulungan po tayo dyan. Ito para na sa ating bansa. Baka hindi lang po sa GIA ang problema, baka nationwide po. Maraming salamat.
Thank you sa inyong lahat at the PAO will be briefing you periodically from time to time. Ay alam natin na ang publiko ay interesado dito. So at gusto rin maalaman ng komunidad kung ano na natumbok namin at na-discover ng PAO. So asahan nyo po ang regular na mga briefing na ganito. Thank you po sa inyong lahat. Salamat po.